Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another Mortgage Coach Friday Mastermind. I think this is 227 times, Todd. We have delivered value on a Friday. It's either been myself, Todd Bookspan together. Sometimes we have other guest leaders. What's up, dude?
Not much. I'm super excited to be here with this all-star crew as always today.
So me too. So I'm coming live to you from Syracuse, New York this time. So I'm on the other side of the coast from where I'm usually at. To help us with today's Loan Now Strategies Mastermind, we've got marketing guru Robert Stover. What's up, Mr. Stover?
How you doing?
Good. So anyone who missed, was it last week, Robert, that we did Taking Action on Scriptapalooza, or was it the week before? Yeah. So last Friday at this time, Robert and I did a full hour on, hey, if you watched that call, it was a fire hose of concepts, of ideas, and scripts. How can you go about taking action on it? And more important than that, Robert shared a breakthrough formula on how can you not only take it and win an extra loan, create some incremental value, but what's a formula? He's got this 3-step formula to turning it into a breakthrough that could double your business regardless of market circumstances. So check it out, guys. It was really valuable. I loved it. We've got Dan Keller joining us. Dan Keller, how's it going up in Seattle?
Hey, good morning. It's going really well up here. I'm casual today because we finally started baseball. So I do, when I'm not doing mortgages, I coach at the local high school. So 6 a.m. workouts, and we play 10 days from now. So happy times up here because the kids they're back on the field.
Hey, real quick, I'm curious, what percentage of offers are getting accepted? Like your buyers, I'm pretty sure that they don't get pre-qualified, and the first house they make an offer for, they win. I'm hearing around the country that it's less than 50% of the time that people are winning.
Yeah.
What is it like in your market right now?
So Seattle's super competitive. I think anyone listening right now knows that we're up there with any of the hot markets across the country. I don't have that stat off the top of my head. Here's what I tell my clients, and this is from experience and what I'm seeing. I try to set expectations with all of our borrowers right now, especially first-time home buyers. You're probably going to offer on 2 to 3 homes. And if you listen to your agent and you listen to me and follow our strategy, which most of our clients are, it's going to be 2 to 3. 2 to 3 houses is kind of what we're seeing right now. But I frame it this way. Hey, this is great practice for the right house, right? So the first one may not be the perfect house, the absolute one, but the one will come up. And when the one does come on the market, this is going to give you great practice. So you're going to know exactly what to do. You're going to know how to listen to both the realtor and I.
I love it. Guys, you just got a script. While it's not necessarily a loan now idea, it's more of an incremental opportunity to better convert and better manage your existing leads. We're gonna do scripts like that, guys, but we're also gonna come up with ideas like, how do we get more loans now? Like, I'm brand new in the business. What do I do? Scott Nicholson, thank you for joining us today. How's things going in your market, buddy?
Good. I'm right there with Dan. I brought pad, paper. I'm ready to go with Dan on here and Robert. So we're the same. And it really depends on the market. The lower price points, I mean, your percent of getting the offer accepted is slim. It's hard. It's brutal. And then you start to move up price point wise, you get into the top. It's a little bit more, acceptable, but it's tough. It's brutal. It's everywhere. So we're not the only place. For sure.
What percentage of folks are you seeing appraisal gaps where either you're having to have that appraisal gap conversation before they make an offer, or hey, they made an offer, the appraisal didn't come in? Is that happens once in a while, or is that more than 50% of the time?
Oh, I would say it's north of probably, if I had to put a number to it, I'd probably north of 60%. Either they know they're overbidding or they're naive to it and they're just praying that value comes in. It's a big issue.
Yeah. And what do you think? Is it more than 50% in your market also?
Not right now, but trending that way. Guys, the offers are just stupid right now. The $100,000 to $200,000 over list price, and we're talking even on the $500,000, $600,000 homes, it's 80 to 100 over. So, we again, just like what Scott said and what I said earlier, it's setting the right expectations. When and we'll get into this in a minute relative to strategy and how to pick up more loans from realtors and help realtors close more deals. But when you talk to your realtors and you talk to your borrowers up front, and the lender is actually doing the legwork for the realtor, selling them on, if you want this house, be prepared to offer $80,000 over, and then ask your realtor to support that aggressive offer with comparable sales, with what the market's doing, stuff like that. But I wouldn't say 50% of our appraisals are coming in low, but
More than 30?
Probably, I'd say about a third maybe right now, but it's not like low where it's killing the deal. It's low where it's digestible for the borrower and it's understandable for the borrower.
Cool. Well, before we put Stover on and really drive the topic at hand, what's it like for you, Todd Bookspan, in Phoenix, Arizona? Anything you want to add before we get into it?
Yeah, I was kind of laughing because, my team is getting all the people that are selling their houses in Scott and Dan's neck of the woods for $50,000 to $200,000 more are coming down to the Arizona market, and they're using that money to overbid on Arizona properties. So it's here. I was on our team call earlier this week, and my business partner, he was estimating about 25% of appraisals are coming in and having that gap. But there's no doubt that part of the scripting that our team is using is talking about the fact that, hey, you're buying a house and you're competing against these people who just sold their house in, a matter of hours or days for significantly more than they thought. So they have that extra money. They're willing to overbid, and you're concerned about just maybe offering the asking price. And so again, just like you guys were saying, it's really supporting the realtors in those conversations, and then, helping people understand that, certainly if they're selling a house, then they're probably getting 30 to 50,000 over in the market here, and then reminding them that they're going to benefit there. So they might as well spend that money and be okay with it. So it's really similar scripting. It's just kind of funny because I think we're getting it from your guys' neck of the woods up there.
Well, guys, most people on this call, they know Todd is Mr. Win by Noon. They know him as a coach. They know him as a Win by Noon guy. But don't forget, he built a team that still closes over 500 loans a year. And he learned how to delegate, empower leadership. So now it's to the point where he's still, his wife runs the branch. He is building Win by Noon. He does all kinds, he's a real estate investor. He's an entrepreneur. He's, doing these modern mortgage and modern real estate events. I mean, Todd's doing a lot of things. And he's got a company over here doing 500 units a month, being led by other people. So a lot to be learned by Todd. Todd, we're going to try to get Dan to share his Loan Now strategies first, but be ready to add a few of your own. So Stover, let's do this. This call was your idea because we did what we did last week, and you had a lot of people reach out to you for coaching and mentoring. And, why don't you set the table for this call, and then why don't we bring Dan Keller in first to answer your questions?
All right. So I'm going to amalgamate a couple people, and here's a very typical story or scenario. I'll make it me. I was a 20-year loan officer at a bank, and I realized, you know what? I think it's time to go out on my own. I'll make more money, and it won't be that hard to approach realtors and get deals. I went out on my own. COVID hit. The realtors I do talk to are talking to 2-3 lenders, and I can't get a single deal. My customer base, I've got 300 people in, and most of them are cold. I went to Scriptapalooza, got excited about the possibilities. I bought Mortgage Coach. I'm overwhelmed. Like the technicality of Mortgage Coach, knowing what to use when, I don't know what to do, and I need a loan. So I'll leave it broad like that. I've got some other areas I may want to take it. So let me just throw it out. Dave, you wanted to?
Well, I want to insert something before we hand it to Dan, because we could take the persona of, I'm in my first year in the mortgage business. And while I don't have 100 past customers, I got 100 people that I'd invite to my wedding. And I think, Dan, when you answer this, I want you to answer it that way. We also have a lot of people that have Mortgage Coach, but they haven't used it over 20 times. So they're kind of like, okay, refis have gone away, and I know it helps with refis, but I want you to answer this, Dan, and I want you to answer it so they can also prioritize what they learn in Mortgage Coach first. Like kind of give us, and Dan, you're a baseball coach. There's a single, there's a double, there's a triple, and then there's a grand slam. So why don't you try to give us a couple, or the persona that Robert represented, give us a couple singles, and then let's, close out on getting a grand slam from you.
Well, let me just start with the most transparent version of a grand slam right now. I am going to tell you, every listener right now, rookie mortgage coach user, rookie loan officer, even the more advanced mortgage coach user. If you suck at being a loan officer, if you are not good, if you suck at teaching and presenting, and that is not at the heart of your business, teaching people how to make good financial decisions as a mortgage professional, mortgage coach is not going to make you any better. I tell this to kids all the time. Go have mom and dad buy you a $550 baseball bat. It doesn't matter if your swing sucks, right? It doesn't matter if you're not willing to work. And it's the same thing with mortgage coach. You can get all this advice from Dave and Todd and Robert and all these great high-level mortgage producers. But if you're not willing to build your craft and learn from Robert and learn how to speak and learn how to teach and understand how to teach, mortgage coach, it might get you in the door, but it's not going to get you paid. And so I want to start with that. It's so important to understand that right now, what I'm doing is I'm not using mortgage coach right out the gate. I'm finding the problem. We have appraisal issues. We have buyers that are, they're upset. They are, I don't want to say depressed is not the right word, suppressed, discouraged because the market is super aggressive. Scott just said it. I'm up here in Seattle and the average price point, let's just say, is just short of $1 million, but you move a little bit north and everything's going for $750,000. I just worked on a transaction the other day, you guys, this is insane, for one of the vice presidents at Microsoft buying a $5.4 million house. We got outbid. We lost the deal by $40,000 on a $5.4 million house, and he's putting down $2.5 million. It's like this everywhere. Now, we just found out yesterday that the first offer was nickel and diming the inspection, and now we're back in as a backup offer, and we're actually going to win this deal. But the idea right now is that you're able to educate your borrowers and your real estate agents on how to win in this market. And I'm using mortgage coach to do that, but the dialogue up front is, how do you explain to someone, a first-time home buyer, that the house is listed for $700,000, but in order to win it, you got to pay $825? How do you explain that to a first-time home buyer that has mom and dad in their back pocket going, we're on the verge of a bubble. You should not overpay for a house. You should not pay more than $725,000 for this house, where you got to be at $800, $825 to win it. That insert mortgage coach. So what I'm doing with our clients is I'm showing, all right, you're paying $2,400 a month in rent. You've got $80,000 for your down payment. Let's structure it with 5% down, so you have a little bit of money to cover an appraisal gap. And then let's compare the rent versus own. And then let's talk about 5 years from now. I have a 1-minute presentation I give our clients that if you were to purchase a home in the worst market ever, and this is backed by data, if you were to buy a home in the worst market ever, right before the market crashed, but you stayed in that home for 5 years, you're going to come out the other side with a positive ROI, like 187% ROI on your down payment and closing cost investment, because of the 3 benefits of buying a home: tax incentives, appreciation, and forced savings every single month. With a fully amortized loan, you're paying down your debt. So when you start teaching this stuff to home buyers, now they're not looking at, oh, I'm paying $125,000 more for a house. No, you bought a house for $825,000. You didn't overpay for a house. That's what the house is going for. Real estate agents are showing 7, 8, 9, 10 offers at $800, $825. That's what a buyer and that's what a seller is willing to come to an agreement on. So you bought the home for $825. Let's figure out how to establish your debt on that and then how to pay it off. And that's where mortgage coach comes in. That's where I'm leveraging that. And that's how I'm winning with real estate agents and first-time home buyers. I'd love to share this text message with you. This is from a pretty big buyer's agent in our market. And he texted me this the other night because we won our offer. We're up against 3 all cash, $2,000 less than our offer, all cash. And we beat it with 10% down. He texts me and he goes, I'll tell you what, we're going to do a lot more deals together. You single-handedly just closed this deal. I don't know how you did it. This is crazy. Very excited to start working together with you more. It was mortgage coach, and then it was advice. These people did not want to offer more than 775. We got mutual acceptance at 800. Yesterday, the appraisal came back. I educated these guys that, hey, let's plan for a $50,000 low appraisal. I think the house is probably worth, with the real estate agent, about 750. It's going to appraise at about 730 to 760. We got the appraisal back yesterday. It came in at 780, $20,000 short. They were expecting 50. I called them yesterday and they're like literally screaming in the background, excited, because they just put $30,000 back in their pocket that they thought they were going to have to invest additionally. And so it comes from framing the whole entire process, framing the financials, and then sharing the financials with them so they know what to expect. And then the borrowers knew the benefits. The borrowers saw the benefit. 3%, 30-year fixed. Rates are going up. So this goes back to, you have to educate people on the pros and the cons of buying right now. If you were to wait, so incomes, cost of waiting, if you were to wait a year and rates go back up to 4.5% where they were before COVID, that $750,000, that $800,000 house is now $850 at 4.5%. Would you rather do that?
So let me push you. I just moved to Seattle. I heard you're a great loan leader, joined your team. You said, oh, I can coach you, kid. I've got to cold call a realtor now, right? What the heck do I say? Do I go in and go, hey, Mr. Realtor, you may be having problems with people your buyers getting knocked off appraisals, or they can't that, or they don't want to pay over. I've got this approach that will help you get those deals done. Is it okay if I share that with you? Does that make any sense? How would you send me out into the market to approach on that?
And real quick, Dan, before Dan answers that, I want to make sure he's going to answer you and he's going to give you a tactic to call an agent. But I do want to tell you that I'm writing down number one. Remember, guys, we're going to give you 3 loan now ideas. Number 1 idea is education on why and how to buy now. So you need to be able to have that conversation, how to buy now and why to buy now. So regardless of what Dan's going to say in a minute, if you haven't, I would say watch last week's Friday Mastermind with Lori Richardson and David Childers, Keeping Current Matters. I'm telling you, if you just watch that, take notes on that. So 1 hour of that homework assignment. Also, 2 weeks ago on the Friday Mastermind, we had 5 baller mortgage professionals, and they all shared how are they adding value to realtors in today's market. Guys, it's an hour, it's 5 agents, it's already been watched over 1,000 times. So before you do what Dan's going to tell you next, and he's going to give you the script, if you don't consume that content, take some notes, probably if you're going to spend 2 hours consuming that content, you're probably going to spend double that time actually learning how to do the TCAs, learning how to do it. So you got about, for you new loan officers out there, for you people that are wanting to do it, you might get away with 2 hours of work in training, but you're probably going to have 5 hours of work in training before you could be Dan Keller and what he's going to do next. So Dan, I don't know if you have anything to add to that as a coach. If you were helping out a new loan officer or someone transitioning from bank to retail, anything you want to add to that before you give us the script that Robert asked for?
Yeah, absolutely. Robert, let's do it right now. And Robert's probably going to grin because this is stuff that I've learned from Robert. So, and I don't know if Robert meant to do this, but he just lobbed me a huge softball. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to crush it back right at you guys because I've learned this from guys like Robert and Renee and Dave and Todd and all the other pros that mastermind in this community. So if you're listening, write these 3 things down. If you're cold calling realtors, write these 3 things down. Triangle for trust, problem, solution. Triangle for trust, problem, solution. So Robert just gave us and Dave just gave us an example. New loan officer, calling realtors, and obviously he's calling for business, calling for an appointment. So I'm never going to cold call a real estate agent and just assume they have a problem. So I think what Robert just said is, hey, I'd call, calling the real estate agent and saying, hey, I have a solution for appraisals coming in low. What if you're calling a real estate agent and that's not their main problem right now? And so when you triangle for trust, you're going to get credibility. Triangling for trust looks like this. Robert's the real estate agent. And so ring, ring, I call up Robert. Robert picks up the phone. Hey, Robert, my name is Dan Keller. I'm over here at Cross Country Mortgage. Hey, one of your colleagues in your office, Adam Cobb, I was meeting with him the other day and he mentioned your name. I'm working through a couple of strategies with Adam on a couple of his listings right now with multiple offers. But you know what? I'm going to be quite frank with you. These offers are going way over list price. And what we were able to do was get a buyer and a seller to come to terms on this that was mutually beneficial for both, knowing that we're probably going to have appraisal issues. And when I shared that strategy with Adam, both the seller and the buyer and Adam, quite frankly, were blown away. And he mentioned that you might be having some of the same issues with one of your listings right down the road. And that's why I'm calling you right now. And then I kind of just shut up and see what they say. And so that's what I would do to find if that is a problem.
Got it.
And then if they say, no, it's fine. We got an all cash offer. Everything's great. I'll be like, then I start to transition it. Hey, I got them on the phone. Are you having any issues right now in other aspects? So I know there's probably 3 big issues right now: leads, lack of inventory, and lenders right now have been coming off a year of being really busy. I'm guilty of this, probably not spending a lot of time cold calling. So I'm going to bring up a lending relationship. Hey, I'm in your office all the time. COVID is allowing us to come by. I'd love to come by and grab 5 minutes with you, bring you your favorite cup of coffee and talk business. I love getting to know people in your office. And off script, when you triangle for trust, the person that you're triangling for trust that you're putting into that equation is a top producer. So there's social proof, there's credibility there. So
what if, again, I'm new, I don't have a triangle?
Make one up.
Okay.
Make one up. So I got a couple of loan officers, and what I'll do is I'll talk to have them go in and talk to the broker, the owner. Talk to one of the top agents, know one of the top agents. If you don't have a triangle, if you don't have someone in their office, I got 3 loan officers on my team and they are newer, 1 to 3 years in the industry. I tell them to use me. Listen, I'm a part of one of the top mortgage teams in not only the Seattle area, but the country. And we're uniquely doing 2 things right now that are helping more of our home buyers get their offers accepted, even with low appraisals or even with escalations, and more so helping our real estate agents close more transactions with this inventory issue. I'd love to get 5 minutes of your time so we can talk business and maybe get to know each other. They're probably going to say no. I like it when they say no. And that's when I'll come in and just say, hey, listen, there's no doubt. Again, we do a lot of transactions in our office. I've looked you up. I love your Zillow reviews. I love what people say about you. I think we have a lot of things in common. Now might not be the right time according to what you're saying, but listen, we're going to cross paths in the market. I know we will. And when you see a pre-approval letter from us, I just want to make sure that you're able to put a name to the face and some credibility there, knowing that the borrowers that are offering on your seller's listing are in really, really good hands.
That's excellent. I've got like a couple directions we want to go on this.
Real quick, before we go off that, guys. So there are so many scripts in the mortgage coach community on how to call agents. There was a call where Dan and Jeremy spent a full hour, Jeremy Forcier, and it was like how to get a meeting with a realtor. So like it was just them and that's all they did. In Scriptapalooza, Shayla Gifford told you how she would call an agent. Sean Benosian, #1 agent in the country, he told you how he would call an agent. So there's a lot of ways to skin that cat. I just put a link in chat that is the transcript of Scriptapalooza, and here's my advice to that person. Yeah, you've got the same amount of homework as a high school senior or a high school junior. High school juniors average 5 hours of homework a week, and so if you are new or if you don't feel like you know what to do, you've got 3 to 5 hours of some consuming, some note taking, some I'm going to make it mine, some list building, but 5 hours of work, of grind, of learning how to use Mortgage Coach, and you could do this. We've got the content. So I just wanted to get out there before you keep going over.
Yeah, it's like 2 more. I'm going after Dan first because you've got a bell. There's an identity issue here, and maybe you can talk, and this kind of goes over everything that we're going to talk about. I'm a loan officer, I'm a loan officer, I'm a loan officer. And what I hear you say is, I'm a financial advisor. Talk about stepping from one identity into the other and how that affects all of your behavior and actions. I mean,
well, you just gotta, yeah. And I mean, this started back when I wasn't a top producer. When I call a real estate agent and I call a borrower, or I have a conversation with a friend, it's the way that I'm wired. And I think you have to be like this in sales, and it definitely will help you in life, is that you have to be wired to solve problems. You have to be wired to give. All right. So every conversation I have with a realtor is, and nowadays, when I have a conversation with a real estate agent, and I said this from stage at Craig Sewing's event, I think it was about in May of 19, right, Dave? I think you were there.
Yeah,
and I said this from stage, and I said, my number one job, Dan Keller's number one job, when I'm sitting down, I'm talking to a realtor, is to make you money. That's my number one job. I want to put more green in your pockets. And I have the ability to do that. I can help you with your database. I can help you with video. As a professional, I know how to talk to your borrowers that other loan officers don't. And I can help you convert more. And so you have to be, Robert, you have to be wired that way. If you're a rookie loan officer, wire yourself to be a problem solver. That's it. When you talk to a real estate agent, my number one job is to find a problem and solve it for you. I can tell you, most real estate agents are in real estate. It's 100% commissioned. So they want to make more money, period. So just flat out tell them, I'm going to help you make more money. And if I don't use me. But if I do, I believe that's going to be valuable to your business. Am I correct? They're going to say yes. And so that's really it right there. That's the number one thing that I'll teach my loan officers. That's the number one thing that I do with real estate agents is I want to help you make more money. If you were to talk to my top 10 agents, every single one of them will say that Dan Keller helps me make more money. And it's not me giving them leads or buying leads for them. Dan Keller helps me make more money, whether it's video, whether it's using our video studio, whether it's coaching. Now where I'm at in my career is I am professionally coached. I have the ability to coach real estate agents and other lenders on sales activities. And so I think if you take that approach, Robert, that's first and foremost, and you don't need experience. It's a mindset shift. The other thing I think is, again, transparency is so big when we're talking about lead generation relative to cold calls. And let me be very, very clear on this. 9 out of 10 of everyone listening to this call will not make a cold call or will not make a second cold call. Okay. The people that have a lot of money in their bank, the loan officers, the salespeople, the entrepreneurs, the Ryan Serhants of the world right here are not afraid to make a cold call. And they're not afraid to, so when I make a cold call or an introductory call, I know I'm going to get told no. They don't know me. If the triangle for trust doesn't work, they're going to say I'm too busy. I don't have time. I invite that because what I'm going to do next is what 9 out of 10 loan officers won't do. And it's make the second call, the third call, the fourth call, the fifth call, the sixth call. So what I do is I do them every Friday. The coaching program I'm in teaches you to do them on Mondays. I don't. I make my cold calls on Friday and I do my follow-up cold calls on Friday. And really all I say, Robert, we talked earlier in the week. I know the timing was off, but I'm just checking back with you. I want to let you know, if you need to reach out to a loan officer over the weekend and you're having a difficult time doing that, I want you to text me or call me. I'm going to text you after this phone call. So I'm right in your text stream. I will pick up my phone and I'll respond to your text if you need me over the weekend. Have a great weekend. I hope you're having a great time. And hey, welcome back to doing open houses. It's going to get fun again. That's all I'm doing.
Nice.
I want to jump in real quick, guys, because we got to let Dan go in 5 minutes or close to that. So loan now idea number 2, call realtors and triangle for trust, identify problems, give them solutions, and Mortgage Coach is full of solutions that are solved in today's market. Also, I want to remind you guys, if you watch Cryptopalooza, study what Wally Elderberry is doing. He built his database by 11,000 contacts last year, and 2,000 of those were realtors, where he used a combination of HomeBot and Mortgage Coach, and he got real estate agents to give him a couple thousand, past customers that he's marketing to generate leads for them, move up buyers, first time home buyers. and 9,000 of them were clients of referral partners. So Dan, before you jump, I know you're going to be on stage at the Modern Real Estate Summit. So I'm excited to see your real estate agent presentation, but we're going to have over 10,000 realtors. We've already sold over 8,000 tickets. Why are you pumped about the Modern Real Estate Summit? And I know you bought a bunch of tickets that you're going to be giving away. How are you going to give those away? I'm just curious.
Well, I'm going to give them away to my agents that really would value those. I think that the opportunity to learn from guys like, I mean, your roster for that event is ridiculous, by the way. But you know, I'm a big believer in, if you want to become, you got to hang out with people that already are. And so the idea to listen to all those people, those modern real estate agents, we're in the trenches every single day. And the lenders listening to this call will agree. Again, the majority of real estate agents are not doing what these modern real estate agents or modern mortgage professionals are doing. But the one thing in common is they want to make more money. And maybe take this from my message today. Real estate agents are 100% commission. They want to make more money. That's why they're in it. They'll say they love selling homes and they love helping people. No, they don't. They wouldn't do it for free. They love making commissions and they make a lot of it. And so teach them how to make more money, help them make more money. And so I'm giving the tickets out to people that would absorb the information and use the information, because we're, like Scott just said, and Todd just said, it doesn't matter if you're in Arizona or on the East Coast or in the South or up here in the Pacific Northwest. The real estate market is very aggressive right now. We all have inventory issues. We all are struggling with the same things. And so this summit is going to be absolutely amazing for real estate agents. In regards to what I'm talking about as a modern mortgage professional, it's showing people that it's more than a house, it's a home, and it's more than a home, it's a financial tool right now, especially with appreciation, especially when we're seeing sellers walk away with $500,000 or $750,000 right now, selling here in Washington and going and paying cash with Todd down in Arizona and pocketing $400,000. Add $400,000 to your investment portfolio. It's life-changing. So it's not just a house, it's a home now. And people need to spend more time evaluating that and having clarity around their options. And that's what Mortgage Coach is helping me with.
So guys, I want to have you listen to a 1-minute video from Ryan Serhant. And then Dan, I want you to comment on this because, you know, our vision, you know, why Todd and Win by Noon are putting this on and why I'm helping Todd put this on and I'm helping create content around it is real estate agents they've got bigger problems than we do. Mm-hmm. They're more concerned about disruption than we are. Remember guys, Zillow is no longer a Zestimate in 20 markets. The Zillow's estimate button is click button buy houses. So realtors need to upgrade. And let's hear what Ryan Serhant. Ryan is the most well-known, most followed, not just real estate agent in the world, but brand in the world. He's more followed than some of the biggest brands in real estate. So let's hear what he has to say real quick. Let me put him on. Dan, if you could comment on this, and then I'll let you jump. I'll let Robert ask one more question.
Hey guys, I'm Ryan Serhant, and I just launched my own brokerage, Serhant.
Can you hear that okay, guys?
Yes.
Okay, here we go.
Which is based on the agent as the brand, because that's the most important thing in our entire business. And I'm super excited to be speaking at the Modern Real Estate Summit on April 21st, when I'm going to be talking to everybody about exactly what I mean when I say the agent is the brand, because that's all that matters right now. If you can't cut through the noise with your own personal brand, which you can develop, even if you don't think you can, because I can show you how, you're not going to grow your business the way you want to. You're not going to lead the life the way you want to. So I am going to talk to you about how you build that core conviction inside your core, turn that into perception, turn that into reputation, and create the best personal brand you can as a top real estate agent. I cannot wait to see you all there at the Modern Real Estate Summit on April 21st. It's going to be amazing. I wish it was right now.
He is funny. But guys, you need to get good from the inside out to implement a lot of these tactics and strategies. So one, I recommend to every mortgage coach, again, what are we all about at Mortgage Coach? Turning education, clarity into confidence for families guys, confidence is the most valuable asset in the world. And we've got another place. Again, you have everything you need to be successful, but we've got another way for you to be more successful. So Dan, any final comments on that before we let Robert close it out?
Yeah, I mean, you're spot on with Mortgage Coach and the confidence aspect. Confidence allows the borrower to engage in multiple offers. Confidence allows that borrower to go after that home. It's their house. It's their future home. It's the house that they're going to start a family, raise a family in, and confidence allows them to get in the game. And Mortgage Coach is the vehicle. Relative to Sirhan, I love that guy. The one thing he says in his book today, and he makes, I think he made 11 mil or so last year before last. He makes a lot of money. Yeah, big money, baby. Big money energy. I love that book, by the way. Yeah. But he says he cold calls a billionaire once a week. One billionaire in New York City once a week. And he cold calls or cold emails. And it's just what he has to do. He's in luxury and that's a part of his business. So you want to make the big money. You want to be a top producer. You want to be a great agent or a sales professional. You got to make the big calls, and cold calls are the big calls. And this Modern Mortgage Summit, you heard Ryan say it. It's funny. He talks about building your brand, and he talks about building the business that you want and becoming a top producer. I hear him say, make more money. That's what I hear him say. And you can do that by building your own brand. It's exactly what I've done. I don't think people around here really care about cross-country mortgage because it could change. What they care about is the value that Dan Keller brings from education, transparency, and then performance. And so I'm super pumped, man. I can't wait. I mean, we just talked about Ryan, but there's 20 other people that I would pay money to listen to at the Modern Real Estate Summit. It's going to be good.
Yeah. So guys, not Dan Keller, but Todd Bookspan just put a link. If you want to get a branch pass, which is 100 tickets, we actually lower the ticket price to $25 each. So it's $2,500 for 100 tickets. If you want to buy 1 to 10 tickets, just go to the website, modernrealestatesummit.com. They're $99 a piece. You have to go as a loan officer if you want to be modern. And if you want to modernize and collaborate with agents, buy 10, want to get 100, go to the website. We just put a link to both of those for you. So Robert, any last questions before we let Dan Keller jump?
Yeah, Dan, I only have time to learn one mortgage report in this market, Mortgage Coach report or tool. What is it? Where should I 80-20 this for me?
Yeah, I mean, I would go with first the total cost analysis and showing the net worth over time. I mean, that's the number one thing right now is showing that, hey, if you buy a house right now at $800,000 at 3%, then in 5 years, your net worth is going to be blank. And in 15 years, it's going to be blank. And then giving them options around when you're taking a mortgage application and you're helping a client with budgeting, which I do. Hey, I see that we're well within your budget. Are you maxing out your 401k? I see that you have about $700 or $800 extra every single month, reinvested properly over 15 years. Let's see this. Reinvested at 8%. Wow. Look at your net worth. Mr. and Mrs. Borrower, you just landed your dream job at Amazon. You're 27 years old. You're buying a house that you told me you're going to stay in for the next 5 to 7 years. Let's do something great with this money. Let's do something great with this opportunity so that in 5 years or 15 years, we're giving high fives and hugs, and you're pumped that you met this mortgage guy randomly through your realtor versus using your bank or credit union, and you're stuck with a 30-year fixed with no direction.
Boom. So Dan, you're welcome to stay. You're welcome to go. You completely crushed it. You guys, there's so much content in the Mortgage Coach community. I also want to remind you, you can ask questions in our Facebook group. So if you're a new loan officer and Dan didn't quite answer the question like you want, post the question in our Facebook group. For some of the people that talk to us over one-on-one, well, we're going to add value. We're going to answer questions. Let's say there's more you have, post it in our Facebook group. This is what the group is for, to collaborate. So Todd Bookspan, anything you want to say before Dan jumps off the call and we bring Scott on the stage?
I'm just super excited, Dan, for having you participate in the event. And I think I just love that last thing that you just said, stuck in a 30-year fix with no direction, right? I mean, think about that. Dan has these little things he throws in there that are those magic phrases that make people think, because that's really, I think, what your job is as a loan officer. And I just love, Dan, all that you're doing to contribute to our community. So thanks so much.
Thank you guys.
All right. Anyways, you're welcome to stay, but we're gonna shine the spotlight on Scott, because I know he has some loan now ideas. So remember, guys, I started this call off. We marketed it in our group. 3 loan now ideas. One is just know how to educate why and how to buy now in today's market, and know how to handle that appraisal gap conversation. Most loan officers don't know how to do that. And even if you're brand new in the business, there are people that are very successful. They've been doing this for 20 years that they cannot crush that conversation. You can. Idea number 1. Idea number 2, call realtors. Get databases, triangle for trust, find their problem, uniquely solve it. And if you don't know how to do that, do the work. Watch content in the mortgage coach community. Do TCAs. Go from being a white belt to an orange belt. Go from being an orange belt to a green belt. Go from being a green belt to a brown belt. Get to 100 TCAs. Brand new loan officers, first year in the business, are becoming black belts in their first year, so you can do it. So Stover, how do you want to bring Scott on stage, or how do you want to kind of frame?
I've got 2 things. So I don't want to poison whatever he's prepared. There's absolutely a direction I want to go with databases, both the realtors and the financial planners and CPAs and your own. But first, I want him to play off of whatever he's prepared, or something that got triggered in this conversation with Dan, so that I don't miss what he's got for us.
We got 10 minutes to do that, Mr. Scott Nicholson, and then I want to leave 10 minutes to make sure we do what Stover has.
Yeah, just so you know, I got like 3 pages of Dan Keller notes right now.
Yeah, baby.
So before I pivot and before Dan leaves, just a couple things, takeaways I have from Dan is I wrote down 3 things, and we should all write down as LOs. Is number 1, like Dan says, problem solver and an expert communicator, right? If that is your mission, be the best at those 2 things. Second, calls. Make those calls, and just don't worry if they fail or whatever, just keep with it. And then I think the one thing I'll help you with in this, the audience, is give those deliverables. So when you make those calls, what are you calling for, and how are you going to help them? What can you give them right now, that buyer's agent or listing agent, that they can hang up or go into the next appointment, right? So really, problem solver, expert communicator, be the best at that. 2, make those calls. 3, have those deliverables. And then last, that mortgage, your real estate event, right? The one we're talking about, your modern
mortgage.
Thank you. So here's and I was thinking as Dan was talking, here's my game plan for that event. Number 1, I'm going to attend. Number 2, I'm going to bring some of my core agents. Number 3, I'm going to do a follow-up Zoom, and I'm going to break those agents up to 2 groups, a buyer's agents group and a listing agent groups. And I'm going to do all follow-up implementations with them. So now they see how these big, high producing agent teams, there might be some takeaways. And then I'm going to chunk away and break away from that event and do implementation with 2 different groups, because they're really 2 different type of people, the agents. And so now dovetailing back to Dan, I think there's a couple things.
So real quick.
Oh, go ahead.
Real quick, guys. I put a link to Scott Nicholson's, because I know one of the things he's going to do is going to show how to take strategies, could be the ones Dan told. He's going to tell some new ones, and then how to put those online so that 1, they're optimized for Google, and 2, you could be on the phone with a realtor and you could take them into a platform where you're talking and you're learning. He's even going to show you guys how to have a mobile number and give out a mobile number on Clubhouse and have agents get links to these strategies. So think of a lot of what Scott's going to do is how to communicate these ideas and strategies to buyers and sellers, and how to generate leads in the process. So walk us through it, bro.
Yeah. So what I have, can you see my screen all right?
We can.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm in my Lender Launchpad account. So I'm in presentations. I'm going to pull up, and I pasted it in comments and I'll put it in the group. This is this is going to Robert's comment. I'm new, or I'm 20 years in the business, or I'm new. How do I engage, let's say, with particular buyer's agents, right? And so you need to understand this formula, because in the overbid or misvalue situation, and I'll show you just 2 seconds of this presentation, what you need to know, and I'm gonna pivot to the next one right after. I'll show you a real life one that we're going into escrow today based on that strategy we had the other night. So, and you'll have this. So basically, in a nutshell, what we did was we went out of property at 6.25. We missed value by 31,000. And I'll ask a lot of people, what does it impact when you miss value? What does that do for qualifications? And what does that do for cash to close? I think that's really important, because a lot of the agents, in particular the consumers, don't understand that, right? There's ways you can deal with that. And I'll summarize quickly here. On row 1, what I showed them in the TCA, there's just your great credit, 625, there's your payment, there's your cash to close. Row 2, we missed value by 31,000. And what we did, what I showed them here, is payment didn't move and cash to close only increased $1,100. In their mind, they're going, gosh, I got to come in with an additional 31,000. So think of, as an LO, going to a buyer and a buyer's agent, let me help you create that loyalty or that stickiness through education and communication. That's just not true. If they miss the appraisal, they're not coming in for dollar, right? And then they could say in this third column, if cash to close was maybe the bigger issue, oh, I can increase payment by $34 and make the cash to close decrease $5,500. And I missed the appraisal by 31,000. So think about that for a buyer's agent going, gosh, I have buyers right now. And then I'll pivot to the next presentation, is the live escrow with a client with that exact same situation. And the person saw this particular video on Facebook of mine. And then the last column, I went even further. We overbid by 31 and we missed appraisal by 31. That's 62,000 on a miss. Look what it did to payment right here, $34. Look at my cash to close. It's actually $800 less. And the thing that the LO, no matter if they're a month into it or 20 years into it, like myself, you need to understand single premium buyout. When I missed it, when you miss value, the only thing it really changes is LTV. When it changes LTV from 80 in row 1, it goes to 84 in row 2. Well, your pricing increased or actually got better. And then you go to your single premium, right? Then you net that. I won't get into great details, but you need to understand single premium and how that works and affects impact and cash to close. This presentation, you guys need to learn to master. So let's go into a real life situation. I marketed this presentation out in my Facebook, and I got this transaction right here. Exact same thing. And it was funny, Dan was alluding to some of the numbers. What was it, 80 grand? I think it was 80 grand overbid, somewhere in there.
Hi, Kasha, it's Scott Nicholson.
I'll be quiet. There we go. So it was 8.25. We missed value by, actually it's 50. And I showed her the same scenario. It's funny how the numbers almost pencil out almost exactly. Here's what she was trying to do. Go ahead.
Scott, we only got 4 more minutes from you. Go back to that library. Because guys, what I want you to see is, you'll notice, like, if you want to be an expert, go back to the homepage of presentations. Yep. Each one of those boxes is a story and a strategy. And it's all in one place. And he can either promote one strategy at a time, and he could promote it, with.
We'll check this out. So you can even do this on this. Give me education, give me inventory. I can make it just TCAs. I have YouTubes in here and Looms. Give me something about first-time home buyers, right? And then I can apply the filter. And then those are the presentations we'll show, or I can search by name, right? Let's do Reno, and my Renos will come up. So That's what I market to the consumer and my agents. They can come look at all of my content. They can look at my YouTube videos. They can look at all my TCA reports. So now what I've done, I've taken Dave's platform, the TCA, which is gold, and now I'm exposing that and framing that and educating, my content libraries out in the public.
Love it, man. So, hey, by the way, Dan Keller, what are your thoughts on this? Have you seen this before, Dan?
No, this is nuts.
Yeah,
This is nuts.
The thing I like about it is all on one page. It can have a TCA. It could have a YouTube video.
Mm-hmm.
It integrates with, online platforms. So it's like you can literally, and Scott and his team designed this so that you don't need to be a marketing guru to set this up. Like a loan officer can create their own, call it hyper local, hyper personal library of presentations.
Yeah.
So hey, Scott, you only got 20 minutes before we got to bring this over.
Let's go to the listing agent. And so this is something that's going on today. We built it last night. These are coming soon properties. So I want to help my listing agent with properties that are not on the market, not on the MLS. I want to help build an education through a TCA and I want to take this to market. Let's be real. I want to double in this for my agent. I want to grab that loan. That's right. So here's a property that's going today. So this is a coming soon. Actually, here's what's really cool. I can filter by coming soon. Let's just pull the coming soons up. This is in my neck of the woods.
Loans now, everybody. I see some new loans coming. Loan strategy.
Let's look
number 3.
Let's look at this property that Brad and I are taking to market. And so what I did was built in the presentation. You know what? Yeah, is this it? Let me make sure.
We've got 1 minute, bro. So let's
I know.
get that out.
Oh, it's this one right here. There we go. Why did it keep changing? There we go. Sorry. There it is. I'm going to post this in the group. 30 seconds.
I'm timing you.
I know. So here's the property. He sent me the pictures. Great description. I dumped a TCA in there and I recorded this TCA. So think of what I got. What problem did I solve for everyone? How many years have we gone, I cannot get my agents to get my TCA in the MLS links. Screw that. We're going to build our own platform that actually builds our own TCAs to it. I showed them, I'm 10 seconds. Option 1, how to use conforming. Option 2, I introduced a TCA. Option 3, I introduced a jumbo. Option 4, I introduced Prop 19. To Sperm go, wait a minute, what is Prop 19? Scott, I need to call you. And all through the platform, there's a listing agent. There's my social survey reviews right there. There's my rates. There's my call to action. They can fill out the form, comes right to my CRM. I'm lead genning. I'm double ending these properties for my agents.
Boom. Okay, guys. So stop sharing, Scott. He's basically saying, hey, I'm a mortgage coach. I'm modern. I give advice. I can solve, find problems, solve problems. And then he's putting these things online and he's weaponizing them. If you do want to learn more, Scott, if you give everybody a link to connect with you offline, and
yep.
I know you do weekly webinars. If you could,
yeah,
anybody who wants to learn more, do that.
Sorry, my bar's stuck right at the bottom.
Yeah, here, I'll take it. Okay.
There you go.
So Stover, we got 9 minutes left. I know we want to talk a little bit about recruiting databases.
Yep.
How do we help loan officers get databases from realtors and agents? Rock it out.
So let's go back, Dave. We were talking the other day about, it was like 93, I think we met, and you had gone, everybody else was after realtors. Right now, you're one of the first guys ever to go after CPAs and financial planners. And so we're talking about how do we grow your practice back then. And one of the obvious things from the marketing world is, don't be passive and wait for something to come up or somebody to ask them a question about a mortgage. Go after their database, man. And so we sent out a letter from a CPA, and I don't know if you still have it in your Art of Referrals book, but it was something to the effect of like, hey, as a financial planner or as a CPA, I'm concerned not just about the specific things around your taxes or the specific things around your retirement, but all of your financial needs. One of the most important of those is your mortgage. I've teamed up with mortgage professional Dave Savage, and if you have any questions around blank, 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 please give him a call. and that. And we reached into that CPA's database and we pulled deals out. Those are deals that never would have come if we're sitting around waiting for stuff. So now let's fast forward. I think 2 years ago, I came up with a little pitch on how to, a realtor is already working with a ton of people, or she's already working with a ton of people with other agents. And it's like, how do you work in there and get that deal? And the approach was basically, look, Mr. and Mrs. Realtor, you've got this customer database, and right now there's loans in there that people are watching HD TV. They're about to reno. They're about to move. Maybe they've gone to open houses you don't know about. You're going to lose that listing unless we reach in and pull those people out. I've got some unique tools in this market to go in and bring out buyers and bring out referrals to family members and to bring out stuff. So that's my generalized, I'm not a mortgage coach, Ace, but how to do it. So I thought maybe with Scott, Scott, you just hired me. You're going to have me contact your realtors or even set up relationships with new realtors. We want to reach into their database and pull deals out now.
Yeah.
What tools are you going to tell me to use and stuff? And I'll work on the letters. You just tell me what to.
So the first thing we're going to work on, so let's go after financial planners. So I have a presentation built, it's turning bad debt into good debt, right? Or my CPA, one of the two, right? So what we do is I crafted a TCA and I'm showing them how we're paying off all that debt, turning bad debt, which is high interest rate, non-tax deductible, turning into good debt. And we're showing them the actual physical tangibles, right? And then we're taking that savings and then investing that in with the financial planner. So it's a great way. So I have, if you guys were to click on one of the presentations I put in there, go search in my library, how to turn bad into good. That's number one presentation that I'm hiring Robert to go get financial planners, CPAs with. The second thing, I'm going to give them another presentation, another tool to go get is I want to show delayed cash out financing in today's market, because I want to sit down with a financial planner that the consumer's sitting down going, hey, I probably need to liquidate most of these assets in order to win this type of property in today's market. No, you don't. And so we can take, let's say their net value is worth $1 million. We can set up a line against that, right? 70%. So we can get up to 700,000 done. Don't have to touch the asset, right? We go get cash out, or we pay cash for it. We close it. We turn around, do a delayed cash out, put the money back, off we go. Didn't have to touch the assets for tax implications. Number two, we got the property. Number three, we return the asset.
Nice.
And then now if I'm going after let's say going after sellers, we're going to do a move up presentation. And this is maybe, I'm sorry, this is California, but Prop 19 is deadly because you got all the baby boomers sitting there that are stuck, and we're teaching them how to use Prop 19 to move up, and or people that bought, the demographics are from 8 to 13 who bought relatively low, let's say $500,000. Now that property's 1.12. Now they can say, hey, I'll teach you how Prop 19 can help you move up or even downsize, right? Square footage and wise, but still maintain, a decent property. So I'm going to go pull out those databases and expand based on sellers looking to move up. I'll use a Prop 19 in my case. Or if I'm going to go after financial planners, CPAs, I'm going to use bad debt to good debt or delayed cash out strategy.
So guys, and I want you to notice a common theme there is that depending on who the partner is, it's going to be different for a financial planner than it is for a realtor, but it's what's problems and opportunities in their database. And then he is messaging. And we live in a modern world where it'd be a multi-channel message. And clearly, guys, in today's market, listings are a crisis. So if you can make a case with a realtor that, hey, it's a crisis out there, bring me in the game, coach. If I want to help you create listings in your database, and I've got a way to do it. So guys, we are really running out of time here, and Todd Bookspan has not got a chance to jump in much. Todd, anything you want to ask or anything you want to say before we run out of time?
I actually have to jump off because I'm super excited to be hosting Cindy Ertman in her first ever Clubhouse adventure. So those of you who are overflowing with greatness, ideas, all that, we're going to continue the conversation over on Clubhouse. Just look me up there, look up Cindy, you'll find us. No, I think you crushed it, Scott. Robert, you always ask such great questions. And all I would throw in there is my strategy would be to pick up the phone and call your clients. Call your clients you refinanced, congratulate them for getting a low rate. You'll get referrals that way. They may be thinking about selling, and then you can use one of Scott's lender launchpad strategies to show them about moving up. The second thing you would do is call the people who didn't refinance last year, who you know should have, and you're going to be surprised. Yeah, some of them probably refied without you, but a lot of them probably would still refi now, especially using that new mortgage coach debt consolidation tool. I mean, that's just a killer version of it. And then I think I would just reiterate what you said earlier, Dave. Start calling realtors. I mean, I interviewed with Keith Collins earlier this week. Greg McClure, he oversees 650 agents in an office in Northern California, and said that no loan officers are calling right now. So, I mean, there's just gold there to go out and get them, and we're just all too scared to do it. So pick up your phone, get busy, call your clients, call your realtors. You guys will crush it, and then see you over on Clubhouse in a few minutes. The link is in the Facebook group, and it's also in Zoom. So that's it. Oh, and then by the way, Scott, thanks for your awesome mortgage or modern real estate summit idea. I think that's going to be awesome, and definitely look forward to, we should do a little further interview, Dave, with Scott on how he's going to do that, because I think that'll be killer.
Yeah, you got it, man. So I'll see you in City in a few minutes. I'll go jump on Clubhouse. Guys, go check that out. So couple links, guys, of all the things we shared, the Modern Real Estate Summit. It's not only going to be real estate agents sharing what they're doing to be modern and what are they doing to make this next decade better than the last one, but sharing sell homes now. Like, we're lenders, we want loans now. They want listings now. So what can they do and what should they do? Robert, any last comments on your part? Anything you want to make sure people got from this?
What I'd love to ask Scott right before we close off. I've got 300 cold leads in my database I've never done with. Let's say what I've heard over and over and over is learn the TCA. If that's the only thing I'm going to learn that. Yep. How do I reach out to my own customer database, either through email or calling them, and going, hey, I can help you, or if you're curious about, and how can I pull some loans out of my own database?
Yeah, you can. I mean, what's great is you can take that presentation, make it to the price point, obviously, to your, and I have 3 of them. I have a high, medium, and low, right? So I'll grab the low presentation, right? And I'll text into that client. Hey, just thinking of you. I know you guys are still maybe trying to get in the market. Here's a great presentation. Watch it. Let me know what you think of it. And then, so I'll kind of staircase it based on their price or entry levels. So I'll send those presentations to get them thinking, right? And text a very non-intrusive way to do it. And then it's a really easy start the dialogue, jump on a Zoom, and off we go.
All right, excellent. So yeah, and then I want to point out for people with databases, those people know kids and friends and relatives that are trying to get into the market for the first time. They might be, but if you go like, hey, if they're struggling with a financial decision, I've got this total cost analysis, and they can see in black and white what makes sense, what doesn't. I'd love to help out. Is you're one of my clients. I'd love to help your people. There's one approach that can be taken. Those 300 people in the database, some of them have CPAs and financial planners, and you go, hey, I work with a lot of my clients, and a lot of them go, I want to talk to a CPA. Do you have a good CPA you can recommend me? And then you can use that as an introduction to start getting warmer introductions to CPAs. Hey, we share a client.
Robert, an easy one there too, just to let that go, before that go, is to your estate attorney, right? So you just finished the refi or the purchase. Do you have this set up in a trust? Oh, you don't? Let me bring mine. And then that can open the door of referrals for other type of professional services.
All right, guys, I want to wrap this up. My closing thoughts, just to remind everybody, in order to become a loan magnet, someone that gets loans now, you need to become a mortgage advisor. Like, you need to be able to ask people problems and have unique solutions that get them to go, wow, I never thought of that before. And to do that, it's got to be, when you're delivering the solution, it's got to be what you say and what you show. The combination of a multi-channel, multi-platform show. So obviously I'm Mr. Mortgage Coach, but a total cost analysis is how you present mortgage strategies. Lender Launchpad, it's how you, like, we help you crush it one-to-one. It's your one-to-many. It's your like machine gun, where you put all these different mortgage strategies in one place. And one, you can grab the one you want when you need it, or two, you can promote yourself as a mortgage strategist, as a mortgage advisor, as a mortgage coach. So, and you got to do the reps. So if you're on this call and you're like, oh, this is all great, and you've done like 5 TCAs, or you've done less than 100 TCAs, you will not become that modern originator, that problem solver, really 100-ish, brown belt-ish. And here's the deal, you can get there within a couple months. I don't care if you don't have a database and you're brand new, you can get 100 TCAs under your belt, even if you were brand new to the business, within for sure a couple months. If you're a brand new loan officer and you just got in the business, call up people on your waiting list, call up all your renters and say, hey, will you do me a favor? I got to get really good at this rent versus own conversation. Do you mind if I practice on you? For everybody that owns a home, you could go, hey, I got to get really good at doing mortgage reviews and helping people who own homes figure out whether they should move up, debt consol. Do you mind if I practice on you? So if you're brand new, use the practice script. And if you're not, guys, be direct, make calls. So we are a couple minutes over. I appreciate everybody's time. Give us a like if you got value down below. Stover, closing thoughts.
So number one, I'm hearing, get that TCA learned, record it. You don't have to do a fake one. Get a typical scenario for your market, record it, then record it again. You're going to get one you can keep, and you can use that as an educator with realtors, with your own customer base, et cetera, just like Scott does, and it credentializes you. Do it. And then reach out in the group, ask me, hey, how are some ways we could write or reach my customer list and stuff like that, knowing I've got this TCA in the bag, and we can go from there because we're out of time.
Having the marketing professor, Robert Stover, the breakthrough ninja on today's call, back to back, had him last week, had him this week. Thank you, Robert. Scott, you're always such a gift to this community. Thank you for all you do in our
amazing tool.
Yeah, Scott, for everything you're doing in Clubhouse. Remember, guys, if you have time, go check out Scott and Cindy. And remember, 2 times a day, 8:30 Pacific, 3 o'clock Pacific, there is a mortgage coach grandmaster, someone who's done over 1,000 TCAs, moderating a Clubhouse conversation. So 2 times a day, there's a not a black belt, a red belt grandmaster moderating conversations. Take care, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Dave.